Alright, everything seems to be working. I did a Windows update before the stream. I should never ever do that. Why do I do that? Why do I do it? I say I won't do an update before the stream. And what did I do? Sat down, did an update. It can wreck the stream. But we're here now. And this is the wrong background, actually. I don't need background music. Because we're kind of finished with the Gary Con map. You know? So, I'll leave it up for tonight. But I think there might be time to get a whole new dressing on. And so, we'll be moving on to new projects. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you're not going to see Gaxmore back, because we're going to have labels to add to that. And we might see GaryCon back here in the next couple of weeks if they have some label tweaks. I actually did some before the stream. You don't need to see that. But, project-wise, we're going to move on. But I don't think I'm going to move on this week. I think we're going to go back to our old favourite here. Keystone Reforged. It's one we started last year. Got really hung up on deadline-driven projects. You know, we had the whole Rikadon. We had Lukatoy. Lukatoy actually got abandoned partway through while the client switched focus back to Rikadon. So it was kind of a crazy last few months of the year. My birthday's this weekend. So let's just spend the next few days working on this. Chilling. Just chilling. That's my objective here. So, and thanks Jack for confirming, I do appreciate that. I'm gonna have a sip of wine, and then we're just gonna colour little boxes. Because there's a lot of them. But it's gotta be done. It's gotta be done. We'll never finish this map otherwise. It's taking shape. It's taking shape. I've got to drop shadows on this bad boy too. When I look at this map, I get intimidated. It scares me, but we will overcome. The shadows actually on this map, shadows, do intimidate me quite a bit. Why have I got shadows up here? Why is there literally a shadow up there? Huh. Why do the shadows on this map intimidate me? Because not only do we have the layer above casting shadow on this, we've got these two massive cliffs either side casting shadow, and we have these massive pillars casting shadow. I mean, this is going to be basically really dark. Then we've got the areas inside the cliffs. They're going to be basically nighttime, right? So we have to find this happy little balance between all of that. Maybe throttle the shadows back a little bit and drop in little pinpricks of light. And that's going to be the fun stuff right there. Little pinpricks of light. I haven't done that. No, I did that once on the Black Bat map of Vampire City. And Oruk. But that was like 2014. So we're going to be playing around with that. Yeah, I've only done it 2 maps before, and it was a long time ago. Alright, dwarven area. Dwarven area. Nicer buildings. All my bushes are a little out of whack because I was working on the Gary Con map a little bit before the stream. I don't really want to colour every single individual building like this by hand. So I'm just going to get myself warmed up and then we'll figure out a faster way. For tomorrow, I'm thinking about not streaming. I have this painting project that I've been working on. It's a Parthian cataphracti, it's a camel. And I've just been thinking about it solidly for days. Particularly its base. I want to work on its base. So I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. And I don't think I'm going to stream that. That machine is in the house. What are the round spots? Craters, pillars, pillars. Pillars, my friend. In fact, let me take this as an opportunity to kind of sketch for you what this city looks like from the side, and it will make sense. Alright, do I still have my narrate layer? I do. Alright. Allow me, if I may, to narrate for you what this city looks like from the side. Alright. So what you have, Das, is, and this is side-on, viewing from the ground. There's a massive cliff, and there's a massive cliff. And there are these areas that have been dug out each side. A little bit like this, okay? They were actually hollowed out by like avian-like creatures, and then man got here and hollowed it out even more once the creatures were gone, right? Then man started to build across, but you can only build across if you happen to have big, huge towers. I am not drawing straight right here, but you get the idea. And so the towers are doing this type of thing. And some of them are really decorative, and like they've got these big, huge walkways going across. Maybe they've got their own buildings like London Bridge and stuff on them. Maybe they've even got like buildings partway up. They've got all of these bridges interconnecting. So that is, we're on the ground layer right here. So this area here, that's this. It's a mushroom farm. And this area here is this right here. And you'll see that they've actually got little mine systems going into the rock either side. This is like an Otyugh area where you could drop all of your refuge from the areas above down into it. And likewise, there's a lava pit right there. They can drop their refuge and stuff. And then at the top, we're actually going to do a waterfall coming down and cascading down, kind of like hitting some of the lower layers. And it's actually going to then be, it's going to fall right here where there's a dwarven statue right next to the water pool. And then it's going to just like trickle out and feed the moat and that type of thing. So that's what these are. These are major towers. And you'll see some of the towers actually have entrances into them. They're major, while others are more supporting role. Now these, because that's actually in the cliff here, they're stalagmites and stalactites holding up the roof like this. That's what they are. And they might have been what you were talking about originally, because they look like creatures. They're stalagmites and stalactites. But big stone columns, like in the cliff area, you know? This whole... Like, where's my edge? Where's my edge? Yeah, I think the edge here comes something like this. Well, actually, it joins to that, of course. But you get the idea. And then you've got ramps that come up into the area above. So there's actually some ramps that kind of spiral up to the next area. While in other areas, they've actually got, you can see the stalagmite. They've actually built a walkway going around it and some buildings so they can actually get up that way. That's what all of that is about, my friend. So this is a truly multi-tiered city right here. Edge Berrien, good evening. Multiple layers of occupation, which was accidental. But I wanted to do this fascinating city, so I was like, you know, so my inspiration was actually, as an area near Cappadocia, right? Cappadocia ancient people actually dug into the ground and the rocks, and they lived in there. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if that was actually in cliff faces, but like birds had done it? Why would there be caves up there that they dug out? I mean, humans can do that, but I mean, like rocks, or I should more. There was a Aarakocra. Aarakocra would probably do that a lot more, right? So you've got this species of Aarakocra that have done all of these caves. The man comes along and they take over, and it was a high magic setting, and I had different ages of man, right? So in an earlier age of man, very high magic, they were capable of creating this incredible city. By the time you get to the 5th age of man, shit's in decline, man. All of this is in ruin. The magic isn't there anymore to hold all of this shit up. And man's like retreated actually towards the north. There's a big huge lake off towards the north. And you just got now standing spires of rock and old crumbling ruins and maybe the fragments of a wall and cave systems. The cave systems are still there. So the possibility for adventure is kind of cool. This came from like the 3rd age of man, and then I skipped an age or two and ruined the whole city because it'd been a big huge world cataclysm. That's when I turned it into a ruined version. So my players, let's say back in the 90s, got to play with this version. Then my players, about 10 years ago, got to play in the ruined version. So it was kind of cool. I was basically, but it's keeping it in the same world, but advancing the eras. Bah. I feel like this map is really cooler than I thought at first, but if you included a profile concept view, I think I've really got to. And unfortunately, there was a young lady that offered to do a 3D rendition of it. But I think the scale scared her off. And she offered to do it, but I can't see that happening. But it'd be kind of cool to at least do the profile view. I think you've got to. Or maybe I'll even do an artist. I'll hire an artist to do an artist's view of it. Yeah, I had to make sure I was on the right layer. Alright, time to do faster. Time to do faster. Hey, Miss J! Hi! Have a bit of quiet time today. It's good to see you. We are picking up where we left off last night. Always a pleasure, Miss J. Always a pleasure. I want these particular buildings to be nicer. I don't want them to feel grungy. I want a feeling of stone, marble, a little bit of wealth, opulence. That's what this particular quarter is all about. And then as we cross the street here, and the further we get over here, the more rundown we're going to make it. We're going to have a lot more just browns and greys, dirty and grungy. It's the shadow city, you know? Where creatures that like to live in the shadows hang out. Interesting. Why did... there you go. Why did I not do that? All of them. Interesting. Missed you. How's it going over there? You're not at the new location yet, because I know that you were just spending a little bit of time out. This is indeed the dwarf area. Well remembered. And we decided that we were going to basically make this entire quadrant of the city going all the way up to the top be the temple districts. Still visiting with friends, says Miss Joe. Okay. How far is your drive? How far is your drive? Because Australia, I know, is freaking huge. And for all I know, that you're about to do one of those landship things that you've got going on. You're about to do 1,000 miles or something. Which, it's not that far really, is it? 1,000 miles. Longest drive I've ever done is 3.5 days. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But I know over there in Australia you could actually dwarf that in no time at all. Now we do have gardens and things like that to do here too. Let's get the basics in. I suppose I should open the stream talking about what I want to try and get accomplished, huh? We should set ourselves a goal. Thanks, hon. What is our goal gonna be? Finishing the Dwarven District, including pavilions, tents, and gardens? And Flagstone, right? That doesn't seem like an impossible goal to attain. Yeah, let's shoot for that. Let's shoot for that. Tom Hardy? You don't know Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is a hunk. Hold on. So Tom Hardy... Mad Max. So, this is Tom Hardy. You might have seen previews or something of him in Mad Max, and he was strapped to a car at one point. And of course, you know, Mad Max historically, the birthplace of it was there in Australia, so that's why he's making reference to that. Oddly, there isn't a picture of him strapped to a car, but let's try and find that. There he is. There's Tom Hardy strapped to a car. Now, Tom Hardy in and of himself is a freaking beefcake. That's not Tom Hardy. That's Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's a cute guy. And he's been in quite a few shows. And he's kind of... He has something going on. You don't know Mad Max? Really? You don't know Mad Max? Like any of the versions of Mad Max? Like even the Mel Gibson one? I'm actually surprised. Like, I didn't think a person on the planet hadn't heard of Mad Max. The original films with Mel Gibson were, what, 80s? Something like that. The first one might have been 70s. So it might very possibly be before your time. And I think there was maybe 3 of them. Am I correct in that? Then there was a bit of a long layoff. And then they released another one about, I want to say 6 years ago or so. If Jack's around, he'll tell us. Because he'll know. I knew I was going to do that. I knew I was going to do that because I've got my colour and everything all on the same bloody layer. Like a dope. You had a life very similar to Jack, actually, then, in that respect, Miss Jane. What was that film? It wasn't. Was it Layer? It wasn't Layer Cake. God damn it! I don't know. The Rock and Roller. I think it was the Rock and Roller. He was funny in that. Him and Gerard Butler. Yeah, I mean, I'll let him describe the circumstances, but yes. Right when he was a child, and throughout his childhood, they didn't have a TV. His parents decided that they didn't want to. So there's like all of these iconic shows and everything that, you know, you could talk about from his era, and he's, you know, he never watched them. And no, he might have watched them since, but in a lot of the time it's like, yeah, no, didn't watch that. Now since then he's become this incredible movie buff, so he's watched a lot of movies, but mostly in his adult life. Now, conversely, I mean, my parents were draconian, and but you mean you got to come home, you got to do your homework. No, you can't just sit there watching TV all day. But I had plenty of opportunity to watch TV, and so I've watched a lot of iconic shit from the 80s, that's for sure. And then weirdly, perhaps, in my later years, like right now, we hardly watch any TV. We like watch TV once a week. So there's all of these shows everyone's telling us that we should watch, that we haven't yet. I think there's a huge portion of humanity that basically, you know, come home from work and drop down straight in front of the TV, you know? And I've never been that person myself. And Jack and I aren't those people right now. But when it comes to films, we've probably heard of most of them through him. Didn't have electricity for a lot of my early childhood. But I remember watching TV at friends' places. My radio could get ABC TV. Okay, and so you listen to kids' cartoons. You have an interesting life. One day I want to know a little bit more about that. It's like if you and I compare contrasted notes, I'm sure our lives have been extremely different. I'm just trying to capture those details, awnings and that type of thing right now. The areas like this are going to be garden. And we're going to do that in the stream today. What are some of the shows you watch over there? I'm curious if we even get them over here. Or if I've even ever heard of them. I always remember when I was a lot younger, we used to get Neighbours from Australia. I used to watch that all of the time. With Kylie Minogue. I'm not suggesting that you watch that type of trash, but... did a big zoom and rotate. Let's correct that. Doctor Who, Star Trek, okay. Right on. Right on. You can keep your nerd points. Good choices. I haven't watched Doctor Who in a long time. Just time. Watching Neighbours in Scotland, that's funny. I don't know if the world is still that way, but like soaps like that used to be so popular. Like they were just churning out new soaps like all the freaking time. I seem to remember like Neighbours in England would come on around, I don't know, 5 o'clock at night or something. For some reason I find myself sitting there at night watching freaking Neighbours every day. Every day. Papa Fox is here! Lots of soaps got cancelled in the US, I think. Not sure about other places. In England for a while, I mean, and I think it's still running. We had Coronation Street, that was running from the 60s. Then they had... oh God. EastEnders. And these are like shows that were on every freaking night. They would just constantly churn out these episodes. EastEnders came out, I want to say 80s. Then of course we had the American soaps and we had the Australian apparently soaps. England was a soap freaking hungry place. And there was me. I was sitting there watching them. I watched them. I can't take any form of moral high ground here. I watched them all. And I don't know why. Oh, Dallas. Dallas was a big one. A dynasty. Jesus Christ. Dallas and Dynasty. Or Dynasty, as you'd say in the States. But remember Dallas? Holy shit, and the whole Who Shot JR? Bobby Ewing waking up in the shower. It was all a dream. Fuck off. You've just literally retroed an entire season. What the frick? This is the one with the subterranean districts. It is. Crash Course, because I did this before. Side view. It is 4 tiers with caves, hollowed out, Cappadocia style, either side, And buildings have been built into the caves. That's this whole area here. And there are towers supporting walkways that go across above it. Like the Tower of London right there. Or the Bridge of London. London Bridge. So what I'm trying to do is actually get this sucker finished. There we go. That's the only downside of a touchscreen monitor. When you lean on it, shit happens. And apparently I minimized everything. And that was indeed the King in Yellow. I'm a huge Call of Cthulhu nerd. I love Call of Cthulhu. I got a lot of their books. And I don't know, I backed some Kickstarter or something recently, and they released some artwork, and I was like, that's going on my desktop. What's Sean? Is that like from that book, Swords of Shannara? If you say that book, you'll always be right. Worst case, someone's going to turn around and say, well, yeah, it was a book, but they did this with it. And you go, yeah, but that wasn't as good, right? And then everyone's like, yeah, that's right, it wasn't. Have you read the book? No, I just like to sound smart. Well, what the fuck, Faden? Why are you even talking? I thought that's what we were talking about. What's going on? City of Towers in Eberron. Okay. You know, you said that, then iClaudius came up with his little spiel right there, and I thought, wow, is my bot answering the question? That's clever. No, thank you for telling me that. I actually had the Eberron book because I liked Warforged. No. I did like Warforged. But I had the Eberron book because I played in the Dungeons & Dragons online game when it first came out, and that was based in Eberron. And I wanted to understand more of the setting. But I really learned nothing about the setting. So yeah, I'm not familiar. That's what the young kids are saying when they're not familiar. Not familiar. They will be after they hear this. Don't be doubting. Don't be hating. That's also a thing the kids used to say when it was cool, now it's not. Princess of Rome is here! Oh, good to see you, young lady. I don't know, we started about 20 minutes before the time. Ah, but my timer said 6:30. And I did start an hour before that. Yes, I did start a little bit before that. Because right now we would just be starting about 2 minutes from now. Yeah, I forgot about the timer. I forgot about that. We didn't go to the gym tonight. That's the bottom line. We didn't go to the gym. And I just jumped straight into this. We've just been hanging out, chilling, talking about films. Painting the Dwarven District as you do. And we decided for tonight that we are going to finish the Dwarven District, Flagstones, gardens, paths, the whole 9 yards. Before we head into Slumville up there at a later night. So this area right here, this quadrant, finish it tonight. And I think that's totally doable. Oh, Miss J coming out swinging. Remember when Miss J would join the channel and just be like, hello everyone, what's going on? And like, Princess would be all like, boom! How do you like that, bitch? Boom! And then say, it's a tickle fight. Now it's Miss J doing it. Miss J's all like, sucker! What have we learned from this, gentlemen? Women are fighters. Women will go for the throat when you're not looking. That's what we've learned from this. Like Miss J used to be all like, oh, I don't know how to fight. Oh, no, how do you use this emoticon thing? Yeah, now look at her. Ooh! Uh-huh. Better watch yourself, folks. She's Australian. She eats dingoes for breakfast. Hedgeberry bitches be crazy. Okay. I'm not going to argue with that one. I'm really not. I know my own behaviour with Jack, and I'm like, he's kind of got a point. He's kind of got a point. Yeah, it's just a phase. And not in a derogatory manner. It's like a meme. It's a verbal meme. It's a little bit like, I know you don't like that word, so look, I want to respect that. I'm going to respect that. But, was it Wayne Brady? Not Wayne Brady. The guy on whose line is it anyway? Or is it like Wayne Brady? Anyway, I'm not going to do it because it bothers Princess. I'm not going to say it. I wish to be respectful. Yeah, I don't know that saying, and I'm probably better off for it. But there are a lot of phrases that are just like not particularly pleasant, and I'm not familiar with them, and I don't use them. Alright, I think we might be doing garden time. Or do we flag it first? I think we gotta flag it. Flag it for reals. Flags, then gardens. It looks like we were doing that down here, but what was layer 1? What were we doing on layer 1? Oh, the lighter on the top, the road highlight. Okay. Wayne Brady, I did have it correct, okay. Miss J rescues spiders. Australian spiders will come back in the night, will form up a small gang, and will shank you in your sleep. What are you doing? Australian spiders, no matter the size, will murderize you. They will destroy you. What are you doing? Like you're helping them out, and they're like, they turn around and go. You're like, what do you do that for? And he's like, ass. They don't know. And then you see black ick going up the arm, and your veins fill with vile pus, and you're like, No! And then your arm disintegrates into a million spiders. That's Australia. Woohoo! No. Don't touch. It's a spider. I'm in Australia. It's a spider. It's the size of my head. Ah! And he's sitting there going, ah! He's like, get out the living room. Okay. What are you doing? Mr. Valor, hello. You came in just about time. We're talking about Australian drow spiders that Miss J is saving, thus murdering human beings at the same time. These are the facts, folks. These are the facts. Nothing but the facts. And you know what? The only people on this planet that would disagree with me are bloody Australians. Because they're used to everything trying to kill them. So they're like, no, the spiders aren't that bad. And it's like, yeah, right. Because you've got this creature over here trying to rip your face off when you go out to collect mail in the morning. Even the birds are trying to, like, stab your eyes out for food. Well, not all the spiders are bad. Spiders are as scared of you as you are of them. Yeah, but they're poisonous. I'm not. I'm literally not going to bite a spider's ass. I'm just not going to do it. Spider ain't going to die because I bit it. There's a bit of a difference. Australians be like, it's okay. Wickle furry fella with his little fangs and 8 eyes and 12-inch leg span. Look at him. No, thank you. I almost moved to Australia. Before I actually moved to the United States, I almost moved to Australia. I had a pen pal over there and she invited me over. And I'm sure that life would be great, but I'm also sure that I would be dead. If it's a redback, a whitetail, or a funnel web, I don't help them, just the others. Here's the beautiful thing about that sentence there, Miss J. I don't have redback, whitetails, or funnels in my backyard. That's the beautiful thing about what you just said. I have wolf spiders, and I don't go anywhere near them. Princess, I'm sorry she won't be for another 4 years. My apologies. It is a statistic in Australia that no one lives more than 4 years. Miss J is literally a clone. I was going to say 20 removed, but you get the idea. She is literally a clone. Sir Papa Fox, why the name change? Did you just change your name because you were knighted? Is that what you just did? They can raise funnel webs in captivity, and you know what happens? Is they get together, they form a hive mind, they break out, they kill Tom Hardy, they break out into the wild, and it's a little bit like Caesar with the chimps, but you got a spider. Way worse. Way worse. I'm with Edge. See, I'm with Edge. I'm with Edge on this one. We already have a statistic that says there are enough spiders in the world to kill and eat all humans. Why would we breed more? It's like we don't know the folly of our own ways. We are literally going to die. We have to go to die, and it'll be through our spider overlords. I'm not a fan of spiders. I mean, I would say something like touching and moving right now and a little bit hippie-ish about, but I won't kill one if it comes across me. I'll just like scoop it up and put it outside. No! 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 I literally open up with the flamethrower. I have moved house 10 times in just this last year. No. No, what are we doing? Kangaroos. Kangaroos are also the work of the devil. Kangaroos will kick your guts out. They will grab you by the neck, like Muay Thai style, and will literally kick your abdomen out. And they look so cute when you look at them, and they will kick your guts out in front of you. And then they're holding your head, and then they'll pull your head down so you can look at your own entrails on the ground. And then they eat you. I forget what scale we did on this, and I didn't make any notes like Dungeon Tomb used to say. So we're going to experiment with it a little bit. That feels a bit too large. Yeah, well, I'm scaling this back, really? I don't remember scaling this back. Oh, have I got the right brush? Grout, hull hard. Feather. Stone feather. That's the one. Grout feather. Alright. And we needed to make it larger. Yeah, that's where we're at. Okay. This brush brought to you by Miss J Maps. Check her out on Instagram and Twitter. Window. Brush settings. What was our texture size? What did we do 20? See, someone should be making notes of this shit. No, we did not do 20 apparently. That is way too large. Well, that doesn't feel right either. I mean, I could roll with it, but I think it must have been 12. I think it must have been 12. Alright. I think I'm going to line it up just a speck. Just a speck. There we go. Princess, I'm with you. Box office, get the kangaroo dudes, kangaroo guys. The big red roo. What's a red roo? What is that? Like a red squirrel, but like they're gonna fuck you up, and they're 8 feet tall. Is that a red roo? Noldar, hey, welcome to the stream. Hey, sorry Noldar, missed you further up. I assume you're talking to me and not the fools talking about red roos. You are welcome, and this is what we do in this particular channel. This is actually a map that I started a while ago. I actually switched gears into several other maps over the last few months. So unfortunately you're not going to get to see like the beginning of this map. But just hit me up with a follow, because here shortly we're going to be starting some new projects, and you'll get to see me drawing a city map from scratch. Blank slate time. There it is, my friend. Thank you for the follow. You won't be sorry. I love to share what I do and how I do it. I go to conventions and I run seminars on the same thing. And I'm going to be doing some classes as well. Shorter streams, just how-tos. And I always explain exactly blow by blow how I go about my maps. And I post them to Facebook too. Facebook and YouTube. So if you ever want to catch like a previous stream, I just put all my secrets out there, man. It's like, draw maps. As long as you're all having fun, draw it. I don't care. I'm not going to keep my shit to myself. And we've got at least 1 or 2 city maps coming up here shortly. I'm not sure about one of the assignments, that's what it is. I'm not sure if he's going to move ahead quickly, but we definitely have at least 1 assignment for Noble Dwarf. What did I just do? Oh, I turned off my colour. Look at that. With 1 little brush stroke. I don't even know how I did that. Alright. Well, that was kind of cool though. Look, there's black and white. There's our colour. Am I using GIMP? No, I'm using Photoshop, but GIMP would work just as well. Honestly, it would. My style is actually pretty basic. In fact, let me turn off my colour for a moment and ignore the flagstone in the background. These are just basic ink shapes, you know? You could do this in GIMP easily. It's less... I used to actually do ink on paper, okay? Just like Dice and Logos. You could do totally ink on paper, GIMP, anything like that. As long as you can draw, you can do this. Guaranteed. What my seminars tend to focus on is really composition. That's honestly the trick. Composition. Why am I getting distracted and going off in that direction? I don't know. We are not even drawing this area yet. Alright, we'll come back to that. Now, obviously, drawing ink on paper would be harder to actually get some of the results I'm getting here. Because I can't be so... But I've got some pretty good cities ink on paper, so honestly, basic drawing tools, that's all you need. In fact, Noldar. Yeah, shadows definitely make it pop. Shadows definitely make it pop. But let me show you a map that I drew ink on paper, okay? I have a few of them here. Let me just grab one real quick. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Alright, I'm going to bring up a couple of cities here. Let's just do a quick sort of walkthrough. This one was ink on paper. And I did colour it digitally, but that was ink on paper right there. Can I not, like, hit arrows to go through this shit? What the hell? What the hell? Odd. There we go. This was also ink on paper. Also coloured digitally. And to your point, the shadows make this one, right? Sir. But yeah, that was ink on paper. Also ink on paper. There is ink on paper. That one I drew about 30 years ago. That's an older one right there. But you can see it's basically just ink on paper. Ink on paper. Also about 30 years ago. Ink on paper. All of these. And you could easily colour these in watercolours or something like that. And it will pop. It will pop. It's trickier. It's trickier to get the actual the shading and stuff. Digital is more forgiving because obviously ink on paper, watercolor on paper. If you screw up, you screw up. You're married to it now. You know what I'm saying? There's no take backs. But all of these maps are like drawn back in the 80s. They're all, and I had a phase where I liked drawing on yellow paper for some reason. Everyone? I don't know why. I got obsessed with it. Here's another one. You can see that I ain't telling lies. But this is where I started. This is all just ink on paper right here. Every single one. And that was me back in the day with a felt tip pen. I gave up on that idea because you don't get good results. There's me, felt tip pen on yellow. So yeah, I mean, honestly, GIMP would work just fine. What I always say is, if you're going to do ink on paper, just draw it in pencil first. Or draw the main streets, the main districts. Then I always just go straight for ink. I hope with all of my stuff, and I've always struggled with realistic city buildings. My friend, I got you, okay? I have you. Because I actually want to start doing a YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, but I actually want to start doing a dedicated how-to. Like half-hour videos on how to draw a city, okay? In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a note of it. It's been on my mind for a while. It is 2020. We're going to do it. Noldar. How-to videos. We're going to do it. I am going to do... I get so obsessed with streaming all of the time. Like, on this type of thing. That I don't spend a day or a week just like do an instructional video and you know and then edit it and make something cool. I'm gonna do it. I am gonna do it. It's gonna be a thing. And I'm gonna make it for you, okay? Cat cam and instructional videos. We are definitely gonna do it. And sock puppets. Noldor was like, sock what now? But I got you, because honestly, I've been going to conventions and doing these seminars and how to, and like the rooms are typically pretty full, and people seem to really enjoy what I'm saying. If I could talk about maps, like all of us, and have fun doing, yeah. So actually, on February I'll be at TotalCon doing a seminar. Then in March I'm at GaryCon doing a seminar, and the Total one. Someone threatened to actually video it. So I might actually be able to even get a video out there. You know, but I want to get some tutorials out there too. You got it, Papa. I know you get to see me drawing these districts and stuff, and sometimes I stop and say, so this is how I'm doing this, and this is why I'm doing this shape and stuff. But I think a dedicated video, like dedicated, half hour, boom. Maybe I draw for an hour, we edit it down or something. Honestly, it's the editing that intimidates me, because I don't know how really to do it. I've got to overcome that hump. I think it'd be fun. I think all of us would have, like, fun with that. Get some requests on the likes of Princess and Noldor out there. Absolutely. One thing I did realise, I tried to help a friend once, drawing a city map. And I was explaining it to him in person. And have you seen those memes where it's a little bit like, you know, when you're drawing an owl, you draw a circle, you draw another circle, then you fill in the rest of the owl. And it's like, yeah, but hold on a minute. He said it was a little bit like that. Because I could talk about the shape of a city. I could actually do then a little bit of the city itself, the walls and stuff. And then suddenly I go, "Ugh," and start like putting the rest of it. And he's like, whoa, 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 slow down, what the hell was that bit? But maybe we could capture that in video. The shadows on this are gonna be a bitch. They're gonna be a bitch. That's the bit we gotta get down. Pretty sure you'd pick up the editing pretty quickly. Papa Fox, I'm pretty sure you've never actually met me. I get frustrated, man. For someone who's got a huge amount of patience, and I do, I'll sit there painting a freaking camel for 4 hours, for frick's sake, on a Friday night. I've got patience. But yet, when it comes to technology frustrates me. And I would throw my kit out the window, I guarantee it. But I do need to have a dedicated, I need to have a rhythm, I need to have a routine. Like, I don't stream on a Monday, or I stream on a Monday, but it's later and only for an hour, or, you know, or something. Or I stream and I'm not talking to you. Or I am talking to you, but not really you. Because I'm actually doing a tutorial. And maybe I'm looking at some of the questions coming up, but I'm not responding to them. Not directly. Then I edit it down. And that's Mondays or Tuesdays, tutorial Tuesdays, you know, and tutorial Thursdays, and that is my routine. But then I need time to then edit those videos and gonna post it. That's the bit I don't. Miss J, what I would like to know. Oh, Miss J, just let me stop you there. Your maps are freaking gorgeous. You shut your mouth. Is why you started drawing buildings with those random little divots on the sides. Oh, they add dimension, but it's a real life building styles that we base it off. I want to say yes and no, because what I'm doing when I do that, and what Miss J is referring to there is, did I actually? Am I on my? Cave edge? No, don't do cave edge. Do narrate. Let's get rid of the narrate layer real quick. So what Miss J is referring to is obviously you look at a building from above. You typically see something like this, right? And maybe there's a chimney on the side of it or something like that. Now you zoom out of that. I mean, it's basically just a rectangle, right? What Miss J's referring to is I don't draw shapes like that. I do shapes like this. And that's pretty distinctive of my style right there. Or you'll see me do, and you'll see a lot of that on my maps. There's one right there. Every single one of these, look at them. Look at all of these. They've all got little divots and little things. Why? Because what I'm doing is, what I'm saying here is this is one building here. This is another building here. And they just happen to be butted up against each other with maybe a doorway here. And this is a little alleyway. Maybe with a lean-to or a shed or something. And what I'm doing is the suggestion of alleyways and doorways and such for multiple buildings. And that's just something I started doing earlier on. And I can't explain why. I started doing it in the 80s. And, you know, I'd start actually doing this type of thing, you know, and I'd actually start getting really complex with my alleyways and things like that. That's where it came from. It's really more the suggestion of multiple buildings grouped together. And I don't know. I mean, if I need to do an individual building, I'll do an individual building. If I want to do an abstract, and my style is pretty abstract, then I start doing this type of thing with the divots cut out and that type of thing. For all we know, this is one building right there with a little hallway over here, or maybe admin block, or maybe you come in here and this is arched pavilion that comes into the main temple right here. It's all, I don't need to decide what it is, I just need to give the suggestion of the shape. So that's what I've been doing now. And it did do prefab, exactly, right? And there's a lot of uneven shapes and lean-tos. Now, Miss J, that said, with the modern stuff you've been doing, I think you would do less of that, especially the scale you've been doing. You do less of that. But when you zoom down, and you've got the older style buildings and all leaning up against each other and shit, it's a block of lean-tos at this point. Even if they're nicer buildings. Like you go to York in England, which has some real old buildings. You can walk down the Shambles, or look at Shakespeare's house, or even stay in a house that's like 400 years old. They're all basically just, they're just from above. There's no even shape to them. You've got this row of shambles, and every single roof is a different shape and in a different position. Chester was like that. Chester's 2,000 years old. And a lot of the roofs and everything there are like hundreds of years old. And every single building is next to each other in a different shape. It's kind of, so that's, I think, is where I got it from. Plus, if I'm going to be honest with you, I mean, let's get back to on the right layer real quick. I don't like city or town maps that do this. And you see this a lot. You see this from professional cartographers all of the time. That's boring. It's got no soul to it at all. And you have to have some visual interest. You have to have alleyways and corridors to walk down with your mind's eye. You want your players to sit there and go, what's that? And this does not do that. But this is on the brink of this. And then put a little fountain out there to make it look prettier. You know, it's on the brink of looking more interesting. And here I'd probably throw a little tree or something like that just to create some like visual sort of balance to it all. And create an interesting roof. So that's kind of where I get it from. It's I fight against this. I fight against this so hard. That's why we did the Rigadon map. That's why we got contracted to do that. Because that Rigadon map was a fine looking map, but it was boring. Got a brick out of that. And Das, we got you. We'll look after you. And Das, by the way, when you're ready, okay? If you want your map to be done Q1 of this year, we'll work on it Q1 of this year. If you want to just wait until later this year, we'll wait until later this year. You let me know when you're ready, okay? Stylistically organic. I like that. I like that phrase. And I would agree with that. I would agree with that assessment. I have a hand-drawn look, and I want it to look hand-drawn. I looked at a Paizo map. I'm not going to name the map. A few years ago. And you know what? You look at the map, you look at it on the page, and it's fine. It serves a purpose. You can tell where the locations are in this city. That's what it did. That's not what I do. My maps aren't about locations in the city. My maps are about telling a story, right? I want you to look at the marketplace. I want you to look at alleyways and temples, and I want you to look at this building that looks different than the others, or this courtyard. And I want you to start thinking, what's that about? And this map in this Paizo book did not do that. It was an electronic map. It had been created digitally, like start through finish, and it was soulless. It had no soul. It had no art in there. And the guy that created it would probably like punch me in the jaw if he heard me talking about his map that way. But like, no, dude, it's not art. You've just put down a whole bunch of rectangles on the page right now, digitally, you know? It's like, There's no thought, there's no pattern, there's no rhyme, there's no reason, there's no story here. There's nowhere in this where the players are going to go, what's that? You have functionally just laid out symbols on a page so the GM knows where the encounters go down. I mean, now, I want my maps so you can frame them and put them on a wall, and people come into your house, look at them and go, ooh, that is that. Ooh. You gotta get that reaction. If you don't get that reaction, get out, you know? I don't even know how we got on this tangent, but that's where I come from. That's where I come from on all of this. Miss J, you should. We'll do them together. In fact, Miss J, we will. We'll do a project together. Princess of Rome says, when you get to digital mapping, my style is going to be a lot like yours and Miss J's. You're basically teaching me how to map every time I watch his history. That's great. And honestly, you know, when Mr. Valor, I think it's Mr. Valor, says, okay, I'm going to go back into mapping while I'm watching this. It's the fact that we're all here hanging out together, we're mapping. I love your style, I love Miss J's, I love Valor's. It's just like, and if you get the muse, regardless of your style, great. Go for it. I love that. Now you get it. Now you get it. But it's I'm married to Jack. Jack thinks on a very micro level. He thinks about characters and rooms in a dungeon with way more clarity and imagination than I ever can. I'm more on this level, looking down. I think worlds, continents, cities, how they fit together, trade, the growth of mountains or trade routes and how that inspires cities. Jack struggles with that. So I think sometimes it's the way your brain works. And that's okay. That's okay. But all I would say is a city has as much life and evolution to it as that dungeon room you're talking about, right? And not every building needs it, but I think as a GM or as a mapper, as a cartographer, you need to be able to slip into, let's do something with personality in this area. Let's do some temples, Roman style, with some trees and walkways, and just create this a story. A story. Not everyone in the city needs to have that story, but we don't throw down Stonehenge without having a reason for a story. I don't throw down huts in the forest without implying story. And I do that all of the time, by the way. You look at my maps, including Gaxmore, any of my maps, any of them with a forest, you'll see a hut out there in the middle of nowhere. Why? Because I want a player to sit there and go, what's that? Now you got the players. Roll with it. Everything, bit of personality, bit of story. That's what I'm all about. That's what I'm all about. Josh who? Josh's maps are awesome. Have you got a link? Yeah, battle map scale, that becomes a little bit different. Battle map becomes a little bit different. You got to think a little bit differently at that scale, Miss J. Absolutely. But you can still have personality on your battle maps. Like when we did Teagle, that's a battle map, I mean, okay, so room description. It's a bedroom with 2 beds in it. What did we do? We did 2 beds, sure. One had the clothing pulled back and was blood splattered. There was a stool next to it with a pair of scissors on it, also covered in blood. And there was a bucket in the corner filled with poo. Whatever. That's way more than the description. It's got some visual interest right now, right? I would argue, even with a battle map, city, village, whatever, you can okay. So I did a battle map size village for Kobold Publishing back in the day, and I had fish drying racks out. I had where they repair the nets for their fishing boats. I had a fishing boat with the oars in it or a hole in it. You know, the bar. I drew the bar for them. I had food on the table and the bar itself and ham hocks like hung up on shelves and shit like that. I still think that you can add personality to any map you do. We added personality to the Gygax map. I've got bodies on the floor and undead walking around and pentagrams and, you know, shit like that. You can still add a little bit of someone looking at the map and going, that I think honestly, if you don't do a map that makes someone go, huh, I think you've missed the opportunity as a cartographer. I'm not saying Miss Jane, because your maps are gorgeous, Miss Jane. I love them. But just to everyone in general, everyone. I think every map has a possibility for something to be on it where like it inspires people to look into it deeper. I mean, I just feel like, I'm not saying that every map needs to be riddled with details or Easter eggs or shit like that, but give someone something to look at. Even if it's a pile of stones with some fungi growing all off it, that little touch. Hey, Brian. Mr. Valor, okay, Josh. Yes. Sorry, I didn't know his name. See, is this where we tell Brian that we're quitting the stream? And he's joined us right at the end. We're doing grass. But before we do grass, I want to actually... I don't agree with the way that I actually did this. I'm just gonna remove some of our grass here. There we go. Alright, and I actually think that there'd be a little bit more of a walkway going along here, so I'm just gonna create a little bit of a path. There we go. I think we might do a walkway over that, a little bit of a bridge. I also think I should have been more aggressive in doing walkways in this area, and I don't know why I didn't. But like Miss J pointed out the other day, it's like even for just having a few more months of experience, it's like I'm mapping differently now than I did 6 months ago. It's kind of weird.
We want a shrubbery.
But I'm not going to get distracted into this area. I'm not going to get distracted into this area. We are going to come back though and do that type of detailing on it for sure. And we're going to switch back now into grass mode. Didn't work for you. Ah, these tools, what can you do?
Knights of Neath,
you come to an amateur hour, you get amateur tools. I like putting a little bit of grass alongside my buildings, particularly in alleyways and stuff. Just a little bit. Like weeds and such. You see what I mean? So we were talking about details and adding personality and life to your maps. When was the last time that you walked like down a neighborhood and not seen weeds and shit? Someone has like not got a well-kept garden. I like to add a little bit of that to my maps. Especially on a freaking, like, medieval map. These fools don't have their shit under control. So I just add that little splash of colour to it. Especially in the garden areas. Especially in the garden areas. Brian, you've got a lot of cash, my friend. I have a level of jealousy. Look how poor I am. 280 gold. I own the freaking channel. I am literally the poorest person here. Now what I'm doing with these gardens is I am subscribed for 2 months, Brian, thank you very much. What I'm doing with these gardens is I'm giving them 1 stroke high with green. I'm going to come in underneath and give it a different colour underneath this greenery. Maybe a dark green, maybe a brown, we'll figure it out. I also like on the either side of paths to make sure that I'm putting growth there. Now I am well aware that this area is under the cliff and therefore probably not as fertile, but hey, you know, cliff plants and shit. Or cave plants. Dwarf plants. Who knows what will grow in a place like this? "91 hours, and it is appreciated, Princess. You've been here a long time." Kisses right back to you, girl. Kisses, honestly, to all of you, especially everyone that's been here for a while. As a lot have you been right now. I mean, Brian, you have so much influence on my maps, right down to every ski ball we put on there. Very, very, very much appreciated. And then we got Little Miss Butt Splatter. That's where people not familiar with the channel are going, what the fuck are they talking about? Did she just say butt splatter? What's that got to do with map? Is that a mapping technique? Oh, I hope not. I hope not. Is this going to turn into one of those strange channels? We better report it. I think she's about to do butt splatter on the map. Oh, end this. I'm not sure I can cope. I'm feeling a little faint. It's okay, Martha. She's gone back to colouring the map again. I'm sure it'll be okay. Doesn't look like she's going to do anything British just yet. Three tacos, 3 soft tacos. We had tacos last night. I had 3. You should do 3 soft tacos. The butt splatter to... You should get on that. You should get on that. Make those battle maps a lot easier to map. We're not going to continue having this conversation. I don't know why it always degenerates down to this level. We're not going to continue with it. I'll fight a boss. I'll fight a boss. Alright, I'm in on the boss fight. Don't let me die, guys. I don't have the money. Welcome back to that. Welcome back to that. See, Nolda knows. Nolda knows how it goes down. Come on, let's get Caesar. Kick him in the head. That was not a kick to the head, but you get the general idea. Hopefully we won't have like a party wipe. What am I doing? Am I gonna do darker? I'm gonna do like a kind of a brown. Am I gonna do kind of a brown? I think I'm doing kind of a brown. Yeah, and then I'll come through with bright yellow. It will all mean something in a moment. There we go. Who did we beat up? Caligula. Yeah, screw that guy. Easy. Easy channel money right there. Oh, I need to actually change the info to this channel. My info is going to be wrong. I need to fix that. Alright, back through. I definitely need to fix that. I think we're close to having the dwarven area done. I think we're really close. Imperial Dragon, it has been a while. Good to see you. This is what we're working on right now. I'm not sure you've seen this map. And sadly, we're probably not too far off the end of the stream, because I said that tonight I wanted to get this little dwarven area done right here. And it is done. Now, granted, I haven't done the shadows on it, but we're kind of really close to being done on this thing. And what I like to then do is come over everywhere where there's a footpath and kind of just get it to show on the map. And I think I'm going to come up a colour a little bit. Alright, so like just like to pick them out, like get it to be distinct against the surrounding terrain. Like this area, for example. Pick out that pathway right there. And I think we'll go micro here. There we go. Clean up that lane a little bit. Just gonna... no, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh, Imperial dragging it straight back into the swinging. Let's put a little alleyway down the side here. Yeah. I think that is a dwarven area done. And we're gonna do shadows separately. So I'm not gonna worry about that too much tonight. Let's hit save. Arena. So Papa Fox takes it. Well done. Miss J, you were challenged by Imperial, by the way. Imperial, you have seen Keystone. Yeah, I know you've been around a while. Since the beginning, if you're from April. Since the beginning. I just don't know which maps you've seen, because we haven't actually worked on this map in a long time, you know? We worked on it, then we dropped out of it, type of thing. So I don't know if you were around for that bit. Am I going to colour the roads darker? Probably not, and here's why. I'm kind of purposely keeping them a little bright. Let's talk about that for a moment. Why am I doing that? Because, in a nutshell, in fact, I can get rid of that. Hold on a sec. Oh, I've got that cave edge over there. Well, here's why. I've got a cave edge marked over here. This entire area, in fact, let's just take a different brush here. Okay. I'm about to do this super crude, okay? This here is under a cliff. And what I'm tempted to do at some point, if we're going to experiment with this, we're going to feather the edges, so on and so forth. I'm just doing it crude right now. Is we're going to do something like this. But And no, again, I'm really sort of approximating it, okay? But do you see how it makes those roads darker? And then what I'm going to do is we're going to do pinpricks of light from the magical mushrooms, torches on the streets and things like that. And there's going to be another one over here, and then we're going to have so many shadows on these buildings. Like, these buildings are going to do this. And again, I'm kind of approximating it just to give you an idea. More like this. Oh, I did 5. Hold on a sec. Wait. And I think actually the shadows will be larger than this. But we're going to be doing this all over the map. And I think it's going to darken a lot of what you see. In fact, the shadow's going to be bigger than that. So that's why I'm going to try and actually keep the roads a little bit brighter, I think. Because we're going to do so much of this. And then when you apply the big huge shadow over there. And don't forget, there's a second layer and a third layer and a fourth layer to the city. We're actually going to end up, no kidding, we're going to end up with shadows like this. And again, approximating. Oh, not like that. And then, because of the bridges going across the top, we're going to have a lot of this. But I'm going to draw those above first. There's going to be a lot of that going on. And the cliffs. I want to actually at least represent one of the cliffs. You know, maybe something like this. Maybe we'll even do both cliffs. And I think the other cliff does something more like this, right? So you're going to end up with something that's actually pretty dark. So that's why I'm semi-fighting that, if that makes any sense. So that gives you an idea of what we're doing there. So that layer I can get rid of now, right? Yeah. And if at the end of the day we think that the roads are too bright, even with all of the shadows on top, you know, we'll throttle them back. It's not her bank. Don't let power go to her head. Alright, I'm going to hit save right here. This is a good stopping point for me. My intent is to stream this map again tomorrow night, okay? And then either Saturday or Sunday, I don't know. I saved it. But my intent is to stream tomorrow night. If you don't see me, don't worry. I'm painting a camel. That's not a euphemism. And then either Saturday or Sunday to stream this map again for a few hours, depending which day Jack has got tickets for me to go see 1917. It's birthday weekend, gonna go see 1917. The other day I'm gonna stream, okay? Penciling it in for Sunday, which is my actual birthday, but we'll see. Watch my wall and my Facebook wall, and I'll let you guys and girls know when I'm going to stream. Otherwise, right now, I'm going to leave it here. We finished the Dwarven District. The Dwarven District is pretty bright, but the Dwarven District is all about gold and that type of thing. So, And if I feel like it's getting too saturated, even with the shadows on it, we'll do something about it. We'll desaturate the map, okay? That said, I'm going to stop it here. I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. A few new faces, some old faces come back to hang out. I love you all. Thank you. I might see you tomorrow night. Depending on how much the lure of the camel and the camel base has me. I've been working on this fantastic desert base and it looks awesome and I really want to put a camel on it so bad. So that's it. You might see me tomorrow night. You'll see. I love you. I'll see you soon. We're going to be working on this one for at least a few more days before we move on to the next project, okay? I'll talk to you then. And we're definitely going to start doing tutorials, okay? Have a great evening, everyone.